I had to do it today because I'm leaving at the end of the day, so I had to do it 3rd hour instead of 6th hour. So sorry, guys. I don't think this is one you're going to need to have recorded anyway. So, may I move on? Guess how much the retake review has? 69. 100. No, I said retake. 2 times. Ooh.
Retake.
Thank you. The very first time that we review for any test, you only have to do about 20 of them. And they should be the ones that you're struggling on. Now, if you've done 15 that you're struggling on, then pick 5 easy ones. But you should have a minimum amount that you're reviewing on. Okay? After that, you have to do the whole thing. And you got to make sure you get an 80 on it. So if you've got an 80 and you don't need to finish the rest, then don't. But I'd say that out loud.
Wait.
I'm just saying, all right? Mira quien vino ahora sí. Huh. I'm going to change the slide. All right, cool beans. So here we go. This, my friends, is the rectangular coordinate system, also known as the Cartesian coordinate system. This is not the graph. This is not a graph. This is the Cartesian coordinate system.
Okay.
The things that we put on top of this are called the graph.
Whoa.
This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis.
Wow.
Positive numbers go this way on the x, and they go this way on the y. Negatives go this way on the y, and backwards on the x. This point in the very middle is called the origin. I feel like I'm in like kindergarten. Origin. Okay. Each point on the rectangular coordinate system can be described by its location with an ordered pair. And we always put them in alphabetical order. X, comma, Y. Later on, or you guys have probably already seen 3x3s, right?
Yeah.
Solutions are given in X, Y, Z. We always try to go alphabetical order. Oh, we don't try, we should. Here's an example of the point -2, 4. If I want to graph this, I want to move back 2 units on the x-axis. And then I want to move up 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me the location of the point, or I should say the graph, of -2, 4. I know, rocket science.
Wait, how did you get it?
All right, same idea. Okay. Graphs of equations. Equation of 2 variables, solution of equation of 2 variables, x and y is ordered pair. All right, so when we're trying to find solutions to equations, we should always give those solutions as an ordered pair. If it's linear, how many solutions should you technically get? Well, actually, you can get many. I'll be tricky there. Think about this. Okay? So let's say I told you that I had y equals x plus 3. That's linear, right?
Yeah.
So if I picked x to be 0, the answer for y would be 3. But if I picked x to be 1, then I would get 4. If I picked x to be 2, then it would be 5. And if I picked it to be 0.5, then I would get something in here. So if you really think about it, a line would have infinitely many solutions, right? They go in both directions. And that infinity of solutions sorry, I got a cough. That infinity of solutions is what produces what seems to look like a line, because they're just points on top of points on top of points on top of points on top of points. Okay? So anyways, moving on. X-intercepts, though. Sometimes we refer to x-intercepts as solutions as well. If it's linear, then it will only have one. If it's quadratic, hey, where'd it go? If it's quadratic, it should have 2. Okay? How many solutions? Now let's talk about zero intercepts. X-intercepts as solutions. How many X-intercepts can this guy have?
2. It's a 1.
Well, this one's absolute value of x plus 1.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2.
So it's infinity, but it can't be.
It can
only
have
has
1,
one. Or none.
2,
Or none.
It can have.
or 0.
Okay, that's right. It's or none.
It can have 2, 1, or none. Let me show you why. The graph of this looks like a V, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Man, that shaking is crazy. Look at that. That solution is 1, isn't it? This would produce 2, and this would produce none. Just like the parabola. Just like the parabola. Parabola.
Why did the girl off the phone?
That's the point.
Please.
I'm a piranha.
No.
I'm a parabola.
Don't do that.
All right, cool. Graphing utilities. This is going to be important. I want everybody to graph. Let's do this one, but with square. So I want you to graph y equals x squared plus 1.
Absolute value.
No, I want you to do this one, not abs. Okay? Oh, look at all the math. Wrong one. Okay. So, I want to graph y equals x squared. If you're going to graph something on your calculator, it must be in the form of y equals. Your calculator can't do anything other than that. That's why I like decimals. But we won't have decimals. Anyways, up in the uppermost left-hand corner is the y equals button. You press that, it's going to produce something that looks like this. And this is where you plug in the other expression that y equals. In our case, we said that y equaled x squared plus 1. Was it?
Yes.
So I'm going to use x. Square button is on the left side. Plus 1. Once you have that, you can push graph. Now I do this for a reason, because you're not the only ones to use these calculators. Okay? You will get errors, and then you're going to be really frustrated with your calculator. Now what's wrong here is that I was using this in statistics. Okay? So one thing that you're going to want to do, watch me. I'm going to quit this. I'm going to reset it. That'll work too. But if you go over to not y equals, but second y equals, you're going to get the stat plot, which is what we use for statistics. Notice I have a stat plot on, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to go in there and I want to make sure to turn it off. And I can just select 4. Plots off, push enter, and that should be able to graph. Now it's thinking right here. See that? Thinking, thinking. Oh, now there it is. It graphed my line. Where's my line? Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Let me show you some easy ways to fix this. Right in the middle. Just go to zoom. You go to zoom, and the first number 6 will give you the standard window.
Oh.
And then it should graph it for you. Booyah! Okay?
I didn't know
So
that.
zoom standard, zoom 6.
I only went to Windows.
Well, that's why I'm teaching systems.
What is that? You just always said use the zoom.
Yeah.
Or the window. He never taught us just the 6. Man, Razo, always been kind of difficult trying to figure out how to where to zoom in and out.
Yeah, I'm here. Think about the scratch. The scratch paper. And you do these calculations and just there and you go in. But inside of the thought, systematically linked. So I'll come back and I'll see what you do. Well, you graphed it, right? Just fine. And I'll show you how to do everything else. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Which is gracious. If you're that person where the tick marks kind of mess with you because they're not the same, there's also a zoom square in here. If you go zoom 5, it's going to change it so that everything is the same dimensions.
Oh no.
What happened?
It's a square.
It's lagging. And you'll see it a lot when you graph a circle. If you graph a circle, it'll look like an oval if it's in standard form. But then you can square it off and you'll see that it actually looks like 2 parts of a circle. Yeah, that just messed up.
It's a square root shape.
That's not where I want to go. All right, let's move on. Yeah, and of course you can also go to your window if you want to be more precise about what's happening.
It's still thinking.
I can't reset it, can I?
Close it and open it.
It's thinking.
No, it won't let me close it either.
Thinking.
We'll wait for it. Let's move on. Thank you. But again, if you do zoom standard, it'll go back to these default settings. -10 to 10, -10 to 10. Questions there? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Moving on. I wanted to show you those x-intercepts. We'll show you how to do the x-intercepts and y-intercepts in a little bit. Of course, we can see them right on our graphs, but we want to be able to figure out specifically where the solutions are at. So once that's working again, we'll get back to it. But visually inspecting, we can obviously see that we have a line, we have an a y-intercept up here. The coordinates there would be 0, 5. And of course down here we have an x-intercept, which is at -3, 0. Is that everything? Yeah. No, hold on. I want to get back to here. Stop, you! What stopped? Yay!
You're great. Where did you go?
I wonder why it got stuck right now. All right, so anyways, let's do this. I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to switch that from being a positive one to be a little bit more negative than that maybe. Let's go to negative. Let's go with -6. And then I'll make this a little bit fancier. No, I won't. Graph.
Yeah, I'll take the graph.
Okay.
Actually, I don't have my phone.
Thank you. There's a couple ways for you to get your intercepts. One, you can use this trace button. See right here? And I see the trace. It did jump to the bottom. I know that this is my y-intercept because the x value is 0. That only happens when I have a y-intercept. If I'm looking for x-intercepts, then what should I be looking for?
Y equals 0.
I should be looking for y equals 0. So what I'm going to do is just push left to right.
It doesn't know.
How did you make your graph look like a square?
I don't know. Oh, that.
Zoom square.
What? I put
So
x to
ugly,
the
it was like-
24.
Oh, yeah, it looks weird. All right, so notice here I don't have the exact y-intercept, do I? Because that's not exactly 0.
Yeah.
So what you can do,
0.
here, calculate. It's above trace. Second, calculate. And I'm looking for where they're at.
0.
0, there you go, 2. So 2. Come on, 2. My motion now we're in. So it's going to say, hey, what's the left side of your 0? I'll say right about here somewhere. Where's the right side of your 0? Make sure you just get on the other side somewhere. It's here. And then take a guess. I don't usually do that. I just push enter. And then now you have your exact 0, which is -2.44, blah, 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 blah. Okay?
When you make it like -2.45.
That would be whatever MATLAB says to round off to. If you're going to round for me, I don't like rounding. You just truncate at 3.
Okay.
Everyone familiar with truncating? Not truncating. You just write the first 3 digits. You just cut it. You figure it out when you.
That's right.
You don't round it at all?
No.
No, because then I could do that if I wanted to, from truncating. All right. Questions how to find your intercepts?
Nope.
Then we are done. Stick a fork in us.